Hey guys, Ron here. Oh boy, am I excited today. I picked a day, it's a holiday today, so there's not quite as much traffic on the road. So I'm up here in the Hollywood Hills, and I'm going to be taking a look at a bunch of places. But I'm going to start with Tony Perkins' house. Anthony Perkins, famous actor, where he lived with his wife Barry and their two sons, Elvis and Osgood and Oz. And Tony Perkins lived in this house for a number of years and unfortunately died in this house in 1992. He had lived other places in Los Angeles. He had lived in West Hollywood. He had lived down the hill just off the Sunset Strip. But he bought this house with his wife Barry once he got married in 1973, I think, to Barry, sister of Marissa Berenson, who was a model, basically a model, an actress, and Barry, an aspiring actress and writer. And her dream was to meet Tony Perkins, and she did, and she married him, which a lot of people thought was unusual because Tony Perkins was primarily homosexual. But they did get married, they did have two kids, and they apparently had a great romance, and unfortunately Tony Perkins also died in this house. So I'll put all the glasses back on and let's see where we are. So Tony Perkins, Anthony Perkins, a lot of people don't know that he was also a stage actor. For many, many years on Broadway, his father, Osgood Perkins, was a stage actor himself, and Tony was a stage actor and a film actor, and he sang a little bit, and he did a hell of a lot of things, and was known for being very intense, very handsome when he was young. But things changed as he got older. And a closeted homosexual in Hollywood, along with like Tab Hunter, and the two of them had a relationship. Very difficult thing, apparently. In fact, he even went to a psychiatrist who he believed would help him switch from being homosexual to heterosexual, but never really worked out. Although he did, when he did, well, all the years, the 20 years that he was married to Barry, he said that he didn't fool around on her, but obviously he did, because he eventually got AIDS and unfortunately died from that. I'm going to pause for a second here. So anyway, they had a nice life here. And Tony Perkins, of course, most famous probably for the movie Psycho, which was kind of a blessing and a curse, because it kind of pigeonholed him in some ways into those horror roles, and those grimaces and tics and lockjaw that he did became kind of a trademark. He became very, very thin as he got older, very almost emaciated, which people commented on for decades. Smoked a lot of weed, took uppers, got into the New York lifestyle with Halston and with those guys and the artists, with Barry. And I'm going to start filming the house. And then eventually moved here to this house. Can't see much of it, but that's what happens. That's probably a lot of what they liked about it. Looks like they have some people over already too. The new owners, from the research I've done, are actually, I believe they own a art gallery here in Los Angeles. I happen to know that gallery, so small world, huh? Can't see much of the house. Again, I just said that, I'll say it again, but of course that's pretty par for the course. Let's go to the end here. I'm going to show you more in a second. So, like I said, Tony Perkins was kind of pigeonholed after Psycho a little bit. You can see some of it here. But he continued on rather successfully. In fact, he kind of, in a moment of dread, he accepted the part in Psycho 2, which is actually a good film, made about 22 years after Psycho in 1982. And then he said for Psycho 3, I'll take the part if I can direct, and they let him direct. It didn't do very well, but he was a good director. I believe he was a good director. That's my personal opinion. He was offered other films, but his confidence was shattered after Psycho 3 kind of failed at the box office and with the critics. So he only took a couple more roles, directing roles. Took one called, I'll think of it, a black comedy. It was originally called My Christmas Dinner. It was about, what did they change it into? It was about cannibalism. Very black comedy. Now look there, that's typical for the Hollywood Hills here. Oh, trying to expand here. Yeah, pretty much. Let's look over the cliff for a minute here. So, Tony Perkins, like I say, eventually settled with Barry here to this house in the Hollywood Hills, very close to Dan Aykroyd and Donna Dixon, which was the former home of Mama Cass, which is now the home of an actress, and I won't tell you who it is, but you'd know her name if you knew her. And she's on Tidal, so if anybody has access to Tidal records, you can get that, but I'd rather not say. Anyway, supposedly that house was haunted by Mama Cass's ghost. Anyway, that's what Dan Aykroyd says. So we've got some good canyon views there, but I guess that's the house with the private drive there. Let's get back to talking about Tony Perkins, and I'll show you the home again on the way back. So, what's really interesting is that the Tony Perkins had apparently gone in to the doctor for something else. Apparently, there's conflicting stories because some say he was being treated by seeing an AIDS specialist early on, well, like a year or two before his death, and some say that he went for another reason and that his blood was, they speculating that his blood was illegally tested. I don't know why they would do that, by a tech. And then the tabloids at that time actually first reported that Tony was HIV positive and had AIDS, and they denied it, and then Tony told let Barry tell only her closest friends and his closest friends. And up at the end, when he finally had to stop working, which he didn't want to do, Paula Prentice and her husband Richard Benjamin supposedly came from, I think, the Hollywood side, maybe the Studio City side, and they'd come up the hill every day and see Tony and visit him and see if he needed anything. And basically he was kind of bound here, in the housebound and in his bed here. And he had kind of vigils at the end. People would stop by and see him, his friends, and literally hold bedside vigils. Okay, folks. Well, I think I'm going to call it there. I got a lot to film today. But anyway, research Anthony Perkins. Very, very interesting character, interesting human being in a number of ways. Very highly intelligent, creative, talented, insecure. Kind of sounds like a lot of us, doesn't it? And you'll see what I mean. Obviously, I've researched him because I just find him to be a quirky, interesting guy. I'm sorry, we're looking into the sun here. So I will say again, thanks for watching. Ron here. And if you like the channel, folks, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please hit the little bell icon next to the subscription button. Then you'll get notifications as to when I post. And also, please give the channel likes. I would appreciate that the most. All right, folks, I will see you at the next location. Bye-bye.